This video was sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes launching your own website a breeze.
Welcome back to the Breakroom. We are reviewing Wicked for Good, the 2025 follow-up to the first Wicked film that came out last year, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande and Jeff Goldblum and Jeff Goldblum's younger self.
That was a jump scare.
Scary. We're gonna spoil this movie if you don't already know the story from the Broadway show. There are some changes to the movie version, to the ending. So if you think you're okay, having known the story from the Broadway show, haven't seen the movie yet, we're going to talk about those ending things. And we don't want you to spoil, so if you care, you come watch this video later after you've seen the movie. But we have an all-star panel talking about this show with us today. Starting to my furthest right, we got John Costa.
I like to think of myself as one of the Harlem Globetrotters of the Breakroom.
What does that mean?
We're an all-star panel. I don't know, you guys. I'm rusty, okay? This is my first show back.
First show back, you know. Gotta shake it off.
And if this were Ocean's 11, John would be the Rusty of this Ocean's 11, the Brad Pitt of the group.
The first show back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm back. Brandon was supposed to be here. I wasn't trying to lie to people.
Don't you blame it on Brandon.
I wasn't trying to lie.
No, don't blame it on
Brandon
Brandon.
couldn't see Wicked in time, so I saw it with Jessica on Monday, so I'm pleased to be back, but for real, this is now truly my last show, and Brian's going to run the full, long, stupid speech that I gave on Wednesday at the end of this episode again.
Also, John is furthest right politically as well. Center right is... obviously, that's not true.
Back to my character on this show.
January 6th is real. No, Jessica Clemens is also with us today.
I'm not center right. I'm not right.
You told me you were far right.
Nope. The two JCs are not problematic. Me, Jessica Clemens, and Jesus Christ.
There we go.
This motherfucker, though. Different story.
To my immediate right is Evan Yee.
Hello. Very excited to talk about Wicked. Excited to talk about magic.
If you bring us back to...
We did that already.
Go back one more time.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
I think we need to discuss, is magic real in the Wicked universe?
Yeah, totally. And I'm Glinda. And what we're going to do today, I already burned that joke on the breakdown.
Well, they don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet, but we'll get to that video coming out on the new Rockstars channel at some point later today. We're doing a spoiler discussion of Wicked for Good today. Just to kind of lead off with some stats here, some information you might need to know about Wicked for Good. The movie's directed by John M. Chu, who directed the first part of the movie. Also the director of Crazy Rich Asians, a very popular director not In the Heights, In the Heights? Yeah, he did In the Heights.
This is Evan's favorite director of all time.
Yes. Evan's got a poster of John M. Chu.
I do like John M. Chu. I think I really like that he has a great sense of camera direction. I think he's always, the camera's moving around. There's a classic scene in Now You See Me Too, where they're throwing a cart around.
I'm gonna choke you. I'm gonna choke you.
This is Evan reaching for a compliment.
And John wanted to do Now You See Me. He wanted to make those scenes so bright.
So this movie is going to be the big universal release of the final months of 2025. It has a 70% on critics' tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, 97% popcorn meter, that's an audience score, but also the movie overnight previews from Wednesday night and other screenings happening throughout the week, over $30 million so far, which puts it in the top 10 opening previews of all time. So we'll see if that holds throughout the weekend. This could be a huge, huge hit for Universal, as it deserves to be. The movie covers Act 2 of the musical from Winnie Holtzman and Stephen Schwartz from 2004, from the original cast of Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth and Joel Grey, and who else was in that? Norbert Leo Butz, the whole gang. So it covers Act 2 of the musical, starting around 12 years or so later, when Elphaba's been on the run, attacking the Yellow Brick Road, figuring some shit out, and then has some amazing songs that you might know from the musical, 2 new original songs that were composed specifically for this movie, and a slightly altered ending from the stage show. So Jessica and I are breaking down all the Easter eggs of this movie in another video on the New Rockstars channel, but I wanted to ask you guys, what were your initial impressions of this movie?
Jessica and I saw it together. It was very fun. I think that like this movie is just as good as the first part was to the first part of the musical as this movie is to the second part of the musical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everyone sort of thinks that the second half of the musical is not as good as the first half. I'm in that boat. I think this movie not quite as fun or exciting as the first movie, but still did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm someone who doesn't quite have a relationship with this musical, especially after the first movie ended. I went home immediately and just read what happens next. I'm like, well, I'm not going to wait that long. I'm just going to see. And I was very excited about what was going to happen next. And so when I sat down to watch it, I didn't realize it was a 12-year time skip. It's a 12-year time skip.
Well, Madame
It's
Marble
something-
has a line.
She says it's 12 tides turn, and we're also trying to figure out exactly what that means. Because
I
John
see.
True will not answer exactly what it
Yeah.
means, but also in the musical, they don't really say what it is. But also, do the math. The baby lion is a baby, and now it's an
Yeah,
adult, so you
that's-
can probably just do the math.
I was surprised about that. I was like, I wonder if lions have accelerated aging in this world.
I was also thinking that because the time's already messed up because they get 13 hours or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, watch this lion actually still be a baby.
Yeah,
Watch it
we're
still
on the
be
dragon
young.
time clock, which
Right.
is a weird metric system for Oz. Who knows what that means?
I think it was one of the parts that they kind of were like, no one's going to think too hard. This is a whimsical world. This
Yeah,
is Willy
yeah,
Wonka universe. No one's going to care.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, what the hell is 12 tides?
Yeah.
Like, what is 12
I
tides?
was thinking tides as in like the tidal cycle
Sure.
is like a month, maybe?
I was thinking
Like,
like
the lunar,
Oh, the lunar cycle,
moon
right.
controls
I
so
was
every
thinking,
28 days.
which would go along the set. I was thinking of like ocean waves and just like
Yeah.
go like how long it would take for them wherever they are. But then I was also again like, I don't know what the math is for the land of Oz and just the world of whatever Wicked is.
I think it's at least a year. I think we can say it's been at least a year.
100%.
Yeah.
Because she's like older, she's mature. Like she was a college student at the very end of Act 1. She was just like, 22. Now she seems like she's in her 30s.
Plus, like, I don't know how Munchkinland politics work, but Nessa being the mayor, like, you don't elect
Yeah.
a college freshman as the mayor of Munchkinland.
But we don't know
So,
because it's Munchkinland.
You're right.
They
Hey,
just-
maybe
you see
that's
that-
an advanced age for a Munchkin. I don't know.
That giant fire they put up in the middle of just the middle
Yeah,
next to
it's
all their
crazy.
shops
Like,
in
all
town.
all of our buildings are made out of straw. Let's light a huge fire in the middle of our town square.
I will say, watching the movie, they get so much more time to deal with all the little parts that the musical, the stage play couldn't. So when I saw the house actually there, I was like, who's cleaning that up? Like there was a lot of questions. I was like, oh yeah, there's just a giant house now, and there's a dead woman underneath
Yeah,
it.
they turned the Lollipop Guild into child laborers.
It made me. There's just so many scenes where I was like, oh yeah, like now actually getting to see. I mean, seeing the stage show, you're like, yeah, Nessa's forcing Bach to stay here, but seeing the in between parts, you're like, oh, he's a slave here. Like, oh, he's really being abused, and Nessa is the Wicked Witch of these. Like, Nessa is a bad person. And I think with the stage, you just see that one shift of her, and then it just goes away. But since we went back to her a couple times, I was like, oh, I kind of understand and see Nessa now. I will say, anything I say that could be taken negatively for the movie, I'm going to see the movie for a fourth or third time this weekend. So I clearly love this musical more than anything. I love the second part a lot. I think there was room to give Nessa a lot more, and same with Bach and same with Fierro, that we didn't get. And I think that's a little bit on the fact that like the first movie got to stay so closely to the material. In the second movie, you have to add 2 songs. You have to add a full hour. Like you have to add so much, and they're like, okay, well, we only have room to focus on these 3 characters. And I'm like, I think we could have given Nessa a little bit more. If we saw 3 flashbacks with 3 babies and one was Nessa, we didn't get any Nessa in the second part. We didn't get any Nessa.
Yeah, I that's actually a really good segue too, because of these like changes, right, and additions they've made to the storyline. Something that I thought was interesting in this movie was there's this scene that was, we saw it in the trailer. It's Elphaba and Glinda sitting next to each other in this like sunrise, like rosy field. That scene was not in the first movie, right?
No.
Okay, so this scene is used as a way to kind of touch the, or what's the word? To reflect that the 4 of them, right? Glinda, Elphaba, Fierro, and Bach were friends in college. And I would have loved to see that scene with dialogue. And I think that could have been an interesting through line to continue touching back on like, this is how they were, but this is how they are now. And like, could we have gotten that instead of some of the other fillers or the things that I'm not sure the finer details. So I was like, feels like we're spending a lot of time in interesting ways.
I
A
agree.
clock's tick, perhaps.
A clock's tick. Drink every time I say a clock tick. A clock's tick. I think it was also a lot of. I think it was also a matter of like, with that being said, of just like choosing what part, like. How do you say it? Like choosing
what parts of the show to expand on, right? Or like
that. Speaking to that, I was saying, it was something that John said in an interview that kind of spoke to that, where I was like, yeah, but we could have spent time dealing with this. Why didn't you do it? Oh God, it'll come back to me. Like go to someone else on something else, a new topic. But I will remember it.
I'll say that like John M. Chu, with many people who adapt popular stage shows into movies, they really are kind of beholden to the rhythm of the show. And that's why I like the decision to split this into Act 1 and Act 2, two separate movies. And I think this movie actually did a better job sticking to the rhythm of Act 2. Act 2, like John said, it is definitely a step down from Act 1 and Wicked. Just the songs are not as good. There's not as many of them, and there's a lot of plot. There's many scenes in the stage show where it's Fiyero pointing a gun at someone to hold them hostage, to leverage someone else out of a situation. It happens like 2 or 3 times in Act 2.
That's all you need from Fear.
Yeah. And then really it's the plot revelations in Act 2 that people who don't know the story are kind of blown by. Right. Like, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, all that stuff.
I know. I was in a group of people and someone like spoiled that for someone and they were so shocked and I felt so bad.
Okay, that's what I was about to say, was that there's not enough information in here for people that have not seen the stage musical or read the book. I think because I think there's a lot of people that went into it that were like, oh, I'm actually a little confused on a couple things, but we all have seen it. So or you read the material before going into the movie that you're like, oh, we know how this is going to go. Yeah, it feels like it's really slow at the beginning. It's really rushed in this parts, but then it's like, no, we know that this is very close to the stage. We know what they're trying to say here. We know that they're best friends. But if you don't know those things, you're like, when did they actually have these conversations? When did they actually hang out? Especially as like a full group. I like the scene that we see in the movie where Elphaba's following Fiyero and Glinda, and it's like shown that like Glinda's like, oh, come on, Fiyero, and Fiero's looking back, and it's like, oh, star-crossed lovers. It's always been a triangle, and I'm like, but we didn't get to see a lot of that triangle.
We didn't.
So if you don't know the musical that well, you're like, oh, wait. And if you do think it's 12 years, you're like, 12 years he faked being married to this woman, but he's been in love with this one?
One of our sponsors today is Squarespace. If one of the things you like about Thanksgiving is assembling your plate after somebody else cooks everything to perfection, then you'll love putting together a website with Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one tool that gives you all the ingredients you need to make a website that looks good and does whatever you need it to do. If you're selling goods or services, Squarespace can help you untangle digital payment platforms with just a few clicks, making it easy to start receiving payments right away using popular payment methods like Apple Pay, ACH Direct Debit, Klarna, and more. If you're not a graphic designer, don't worry. Squarespace's design intelligence tool makes it so easy to get your website looking just right. It combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology. And every Squarespace website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often to more people in global search engine results. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/breakroom to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Well, they do, I think, a pretty good job. Like, when you see the stage show, you have an intermission. And you're still riding high off of Defying Gravity, literally for like the next week of your life. Right. That's how powerful it is to see that on stage. So like, you don't really care. Act 2 just has enough great hits in it to keep you humming. Now that it's been 12 tides since we've seen this, the first part of the movie, it's a bit different. And I think they make a really smart move of opening this movie, part 2, in action. I loved her attack on the Yellow Brick Road, freeing these skarks, I think the term is, these big bantha yaks.
Oh, yeah.
So cool. And then like the female guard gets covered in yellow paint and she's like, ah! Like I thought the action was really cool. She grabs the whip, she drags the guy along. Yeah. I thought that was like a good cinematic choice, that I love John Chu making that choice. The way Wonderful is expanded from a sort of solo by the Wizard that kind of becomes a duet with Elphaba into a moment between Elphaba and Glinda, I thought was really cool. I like that change. But yeah, specifically the change in No Good Deed when she flashes back, when she goes, Nessa, Dr. Dillerman, that's just kind of almost like a downstage soliloquy that she does in the staging. Here, cinematically, they get to have her echo back to this moment. Was I really seeking good or just seeking attention? I thought was so cool. And I'm like, I feeling what you're feeling, Evan. Like showing more of those college flashbacks, seeing those in Act 1 would have made those nostalgia moments hit harder, I think.
Yeah, or even threading it as a way in Act 2 to touch on, because you are asking the audience to remember the first movie a lot. Classic sequelitis problem now in movies. This is not Wicked exclusive, right? But yeah.
Should we look at the songs, the new songs that are?
Do you want to take your notebook out, Jessica?
Oh my God. Actually, no, because I'll be straight up honest. I didn't like either of the new songs. But I also think it's because even though people are like, yeah, it's Stephen Schwartz, I'm like, yeah, Stephen Schwartz wrote the original, so with another person, a while back. These feel like a minute and 30 of a pop song that's mixed with jazz, that's mixed with something else that does not sound like Wicked. Also, you get For Good, where you're saying like a comet, you're pulling a comet from orbit that's going past the sun. Like these really great lyrics. And then when No Place Like Home or Girl in the Bubble, you're like, it's time for me to pop. And I go, this could have been so much. You have such fantastical writing in every song. Even in Wonderful, there's like so many deep, weird, crazy pulls where they choose even like No Good Deed, choosing like the like genuine, like supply. Like she uses so many different words. And then we got to these two songs that didn't really feel like it fit even the same bones as the other songs. And I feel like if you didn't even know the songs from Wicked, you could choose what the two new songs were. With that being said, I don't know why. After the second time watching this movie, I got the Girl in the Bubble stuck in my head. And I sang that one a lot. I kept singing it, but I think it's because the keys are kind of easy to mimic if you are an alto. I guess like it's easier for me to sing those songs that are Ariana's than it is for Cynthia Erivo somehow. But Cynthia Erivo's No Place Like Home, I did not like. And John made a joke saying, Jessica, do you want to show your notebook? Because I said, man, this song stinks. I wrote that in my notebook. I think Cynthia Erivo's a great fucking singer. She's a beautiful singer.
Yeah.
There's no world in which this woman is not a great singer. I just don't like the lyrics of the song.
Yeah.
I was a little like, oh, so this is part of Wicked? They No Place Like Home? They took the thing from the Wizard of Oz? Oh, interesting. Okay.
And they could, I think you could have, and we talked about that. I think you could have taken that. I don't think the song is corny, or like choosing No Place Like Home. I think it's great because it's from what Judy Garland is like, I want to go home. It's such a wonderful place. Do. I love it. And then we have Elphaba being like, no one loves me at my home, but it's still my home. And I think the perspectives are really great. I just think the lyrics, you guys had the opportunity to make it just as whimsical and crazy as the rest of the Wicked songs, but they felt so surface level. It felt kind of flat with the lyrics for me.
Well, and I don't know if this is what the intention was, but as someone who I'm like moving in a few days and have considered like moving outside of the United States and all that kind of stuff. And, the lyrics being there's no place like home, and Elphaba is sort of saying like, this place is kind of broken, but I need to stay here to like fight for what's important to me and all that kind of stuff are like feelings that I have felt recently over the last few years with the way that our country has been going. And so I don't know if they intended that political message in these songs, but that does sort of feel disjointed from the already sort of political themes of Wicked, which are so strong and really important to that story, but are very different from this. And so I don't know if Schwartz just was sort of like reflecting the moment that he was feeling when he was writing these songs, which would be completely understandable, but it didn't feel like he was writing for this story. The other thing that I thought really didn't work for me with these two new original songs was, you get a lot of the music sort of like played as score throughout the whole movie or throughout the whole musical. But these two songs are very isolated. You don't get any of the melodic themes from either of these two songs at any other moment during the films. And I think that if they had stronger melodies for these songs and had like interwoven them throughout moments to like, when Morrible gives Glinda her new wand, you hear the music, the melodic theme from Thank Goodness, the part where she says happiness is whatever it is. And so, you see her get this wand and like, it's something that she should be happy about getting, but you see that she's actually heartbroken about it, right? Like, that is a great piece of musical storytelling that they never really achieved with either of these two songs.
That's a great point. Yeah, because I was leaving the theater and this guy, I think, behind me was just like, they really should have snuck a Defying Gravity in there. I'm like, well, it was.
I mean, No Good Deed is sort of the Defying
Gravity.
Gravity.
I think all the songs have some version of background vocals from every song that was in the first movie.
Yeah.
And really, like, when you see the show, people have seen the show, you know, it's like Act 1 is meant to be the revolutionary, explosive story. Act 2 is meant to be redemption and forgiveness. And I think that's it. You're not meant to have the kind of rage and fire, with the exception of No Good Deed, I would say. The rest of it's more reflective. It's quieter. And I think a lot of people appreciate that about the show. But as its own, yeah, I do think, like, if you're gonna do No Place Like Home, we gotta have something that's more that simmering kind of angst. However, just seeing Cynthia singing from The Wiz when I think of home, like, that's the one I can't even think about that song without getting emotional. And, like, would it have been sacrilegious if they just got the rights from The Wiz, whoever the songwriter from Diana Ross's estate, just to have her sing it in that moment? Because that would have brought the theater to tears.
There were parts in the movie that I was like, oh, I feel like they took this shot straight from The Wiz. I wish they would have brought so much more Wiz into The Wiz, into this, but I understand why they probably didn't, especially because Fox did the recent live one, didn't they? Yeah. So I feel like Fox, you gotta fight Fox on it or some shit, probably.
Yeah. It's weird. The Wiz, if you don't know The Wiz, like, if you love this movie, the next watch you should do is the 1971 or whatever it was. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson's in it.
I used to, Michael Jackson, Nipsey, whatever his name is, the Tin Man. I used to watch that every single night.
Arguably, the music is better.
It is so good.
Thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring today's episode of The Breakroom. You've got a phone, which means you have a carrier. But unless you're already using Mint Mobile, you're probably overpaying for service. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless without the premium price tag. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited talking and texting, plus free calling to Mexico, Canada, and the UK. Mint Mobile provides 5G coverage to 98% of Americans and 4G LTE coverage to 99% of Americans. Plus, Mint lets you choose the data amount that's right for you so you don't overpay for something that's like a one-size-fits-all type deal. You can select from 5 gigabytes, 15 gigabytes, 20 gigabytes, or unlimited data each month. If you have an unlocked phone you like, you can use it. Otherwise, you can shop the latest phones with Mint. Either way, you can keep your phone number and all your existing contacts when you switch. And Mint Mobile makes switching easy. You can sign up and activate in minutes with eSIM from the comfort of your home. If you run into trouble, Mint's got your back. 96% of users rate themselves highly satisfied with Mint's customer care. To get started with Mint Mobile, click the link in the description below. Right now, all unlimited plans are 50% off. It's Mint's best deal of the year, and thanks again to Mint for sponsoring today's episode of The Breakroom.
I will also say, while we're talking about the music on Wicked, I'm second time watching, third time, maybe I will like No Place Like Home. Just because I didn't like the 2 new songs, dear Lord. If the entire movie was just like poop, pee pee poo poo, okay, I would have not cared because of For Good and No Good Deed. Mm-hmm. Both those performances were insane to me. Cynthia Erivo doing our theater was acting crazy after No Good Deed.
I mean, when it cuts to black as if it is a musical going to black, and it holds for applause in the movie. It's kind of crazy.
It did actually hold for applause.
In our theater, there was the gayest little boy sitting next to me.
He was very sweet.
And honestly,
it was his moment.
He was making me tear up a little bit because I've said on this show before, I think that, like, I wanted to dress up as Dorothy for Halloween one year, and I was not allowed to do that. And, like, seeing this younger kid that would, maybe a little bit older than I was when I wanted to do that, like, getting to, like, freely enjoy himself in the theater next to his parents was, like, really sweet. And he was having a great time. And yeah, the theater exploded after No Good Deed.
They did. I love the idea. The underline, they held for the applause. Because our entire theater, both nights I've gone, after it cuts to black, just clapping. Just straight clapping. And then same with For Good. But that scene, and then it comes back up the perfect person to come back up on after that. The wizard just sitting sadly at his desk looking at a poppy flower. And I was like, yeah, perfect person. No one's going to clap for this guy. We're all clapping for Elphaba. It was, oh my God. No Good. For Good is also when I just started crying. That was the part that like hit. I also, like that child, probably thought of it as like, this is a gay movie, and I love it.
I mean,
I was like, these are two.
Elphaba shoves Glinda into the closet
and says, "I love you."
Every time the chemistry between her, it's so crazy. And tell me if I'm wrong. The chemistry between her and Ariana was so much. It was so visceral, so obvious before her and Fierro, Jonathan Bailey. Or even Bach or anyone else. I was like, every time they're in the room together, they're holding hands.
Yeah.
The charge, the energy, when they're in her room and they stare at each other for a long time, I was like, oh my God, they can't be in love. They can't be in love because the movie won't let them be in love. And then I was like, my roommate was like, Jessica, that's not the plot of Wicked. And I was like, no. They're two girls in love. They can't be in love.
Yeah, For Good, there's this one shot, I think, where you see Glinda and really early on, and you can see that Ariana is like ugly crying.
She's ugly
like her
crying.
whole cheeks are just wet, and the light is reflecting. One of the few times you can see something like that happen with lighting in this movie, but it's like reflecting on her face, and it's just so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like,
is it when it's kind of like sparkly, the tears?
Oh yeah,
because I just saw that again last night, and I was like, I bet also Ariana, to be fair, was probably crying the entire time of this movie, like behind the scenes. So she was like, oh, let me jump back in. She's a very emotional girl. And every BTS for this movie is her crying about it being over. But it was a great, For Good on that balcony.
It's a really good sequence.
Well, maybe the lighting was very, very dark at the very end when she goes back into where where it all began.
Sure.
And she's in the pink dress. But they have this one blue light while she's going up the stairs that reflects on her pink dress, and it gives it a blue lilac pattern down it. And I was...
yeah, it's a good shot.
I mean, some of the cinematography and the direction was very good. I thought mirroring Elphaba walking down the steps into the room where all of those animals were being kept, mirroring that against Glinda walking down the steps to get married was really well done. But then I think the girl in the Bubble song where they did the contact camera move through 100 different mirrors, I was like, we can't do this four times.
Yeah.
It's for the music video that's about to go on YouTube. It's easier. It's an easier sequence for that. No, what was the other camera angle? There was another lighting that I was like, oh my God, they're really eating. Whoever this, and I know it's probably John being like, no, more light. Like,
more light.
Make it bright. Make it softer. Yeah, just put the Vaseline on the goddamn lens. There's just so many good, beautiful scenes in that damn movie that got me almost to tears. I'm trying to remember. I'll remember in a second. You were about to say something.
I wasn't. I could now. I was just.
It has to be about the lights and the cinematography.
I mean, I think John Chu improved on some of the aesthetic choices in this movie compared to the first one. Only because there were certain. I think it was just me selfishly. The Wizard and I is my favorite number in the show, and that just felt the most muted. It had some really cool color effects when she's still walking around Shiz, but then she gets out into this field, and it's just like
nothing.
It's nothing. And then she sees a rainbow in the distance, but it just only made me miss the colors that could be everywhere else. But this time, from Wonderful to No Good Deed to, For Good is as grounded and simple as it ever should be.
Yeah.
Don't ever try to dress that up. Just let it be as good as it is. To the ending montage, I thought the way John Chu ended this film was just with a exciting fire. That I thought I really loved the weird twist at the end. I'm like, cool, like let's get a third one of these. Like
like walking out.
Dune Messiah?
Yeah, let's do
that was gonna be my joke letterbox review. I forgot.
No, you can take it now. It's okay. John didn't want to use it anyways. I remember what I was going to say about the light. It was that every time you pop the bubble, a rainbow appears because it's just a reflection of like the bubble and the light.
Yeah.
But then it also kept appearing in other scenes where I was like, oh, it's a little bit of Glinda. Glinda's always there. Once this come out to digital, I'm going to track every time you see that rainbow. It pops up so often. It was like even a part where like during the wedding when all the animals were stampeding, one like ran through like a cup or a glass of water or something like that, and it was on Morble's face where the behind her was a little bit of the rainbow. And I was like, Inside John Chu? I was like, you're going to put a rainbow indoors? But I was like, if that's Glinda, then she's everywhere.
One of our sponsors today is Skims. And I'll tell you why I'm excited to talk about Skims. It's because I wear underwear every single day. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I do. For years, the only underwear I would wear would be the stuff I got for Christmas the year before. You know, my mom has a habit of getting me underwear. It started as a way to troll me when I was a child. Cool move, Mom. but now it's just become the sort of standard. And it was always just a bit of functional clothing for me. Comfort wasn't a factor at all. It was just what I got and then what I wore. But then I got a few pairs of the stretch boxer briefs from Skims, and I'll never go back. Christmas is canceled. Skims is truly the most comfortable underwear I have ever worn. They're lightweight, they're sleek, and they have that perfect balance between keeping everything in place while also making you feel like you're wearing nothing at all. Which, right now it's technically winter in Los Angeles, but in the summertime, woo, baby, I was happy to have a pair of Skims with me at all times. You can shop the best underwear for men and women at skims.com and let them know we sent you. After you place your order, just select podcast in the survey and then select Breakroom in the little drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for perfect gifts this season, maybe you can be the change you want to see in the world and make sure everybody in your life gets good underwear for Christmas rather than just functional underwear. The Skims holiday shop is now open at skims.com, and thanks again to Skims for sponsoring today's episode of The Breakroom.
Do we think the implication of this movie is that Glinda does have at least rainbow casting magic or other kinds of magic powers?
I think I think she had to be changed to get those powers. So I don't think she did it at the beginning. I don't think all the rainbows were her at the beginning. But I do want to believe that as soon as they said, I've been changed for good, like at the very end, that was her getting changed. And I think it's Elphaba being like, oh, I can sense it.
Yeah, I think they leave you to interpret that how you feel. But the flashback scene of her birthday party where she tries to cast a spell and then out the window is that sort of like rocky mountainside with a very distinct rainbow, I think kind of sets up that like that's her destiny or something like that.
That's her destiny.
Yeah. I mean, not to like be like new Rockstars core about it, I guess. But personally, I feel like maybe it's like some midichlorians type thing, right? Like everyone's got like a little bit like tuned to it, but it just some people got more midichlorians than the other.
Yeah, maybe. What if she left and she was like able to give a little bit of her power to Glinda?
She had like a contact high from her.
She was like, I gotta go into the desert.
They made a big deal about it being because like she's from both worlds that she has so much power, but like there are other people who are powered in Oz that I don't know, like is Morrible also from both worlds? She's like the next most powerful person in Oz, right?
The fun thing about watching it again was me like questioning those things and being like, well, if she's so powerful, how is Mount Morrible able to like do everything? She could have been the one that started the drought. I'm like, how is she able to do all this? And then I go, oh, because Elphaba is so powerful, but she's not proficient enough in her powers. The time jump only, I think all the scenes where she's breaking mirrors is because she still does not have control of her powers. She's definitely very still unemotional, or not unemotional, she's too emotionally affected in her powers. And so I was like, oh yeah, I guess in that time jump, just because she can fucking surf her broomstick does not mean she is within full control.
Surf broomstick.
I love it.
I said this in the elevator on the way out of the theater, and there were two women in the elevator with us that were wearing Wicked merch that did not like my take.
Did they make a face when you said it?
Elphaba can't fly.
Oh, we've gotten to fight about this. I don't think she's flying. When she's jumping from
she holds Jonathan Bailey up when they're smooching in their weird love den without a broom. So did she cast a spell on herself as well?
Or is it the magic tree that she's in? Because that tree can extend its
She's
branches.
flying all over the place in this movie.
They did refer to that tree as like, I mean, the mother tree is just like the largest tree in the woods, but they did refer to that tree being the special tree for her all the time in the production.
Oh, maybe she's like attuned to it more, you know?
That's where the wood from the broomstick came from.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking.
This is where this is where the Kyber crystals
We gotta make it.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
You're not wrong, John. In the stage show logic, it's just the broom that gets bewitched. It's not her. But I guess the movie's logic is like, in order to avoid some awkwardness with Nessa Rose, they have to give her levitation powers for anything, including herself and her lover. I think that moment, lifting Fiyero into the bed, will be the iconic,
I mean, it was very Superman,
coded. Right? Yes. I also got big like Moulin Rouge vibes, like with Ewan McGregor, like the
elephant,
yes,
treehouse thing.
Yeah, that's a great point, John.
It doesn't make sense, but it is pretty cool.
It's great, and it serves the story really well. And she kind of does a little bit of she almost flies in The Wizard and I. In the first movie, she does a big leap with the wind at her back. So I'm not actually upset about it.
I guess like every adaptation can add whatever the hell they want to it. It's also, again, it's not a real world, so they can kind of
Wait.
Hold on.
Sorry, I don't think logic really works here.
Break down the magic in Oz, please.
Wait, when the animals were going through the yellow brick road, I thought that was the road to Kansas. Like, I thought that's how.
Ooh, yeah.
I was like, so the animals are just coming to Earth now.
ones
And that's
Up,
how-
I'm pretty sure.
The fact that
Because of
they're
the
going,
twister.
Yes.
they go
Oh, yeah,
through,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just a talking snow leopard on the other side in Kansas. That'd be
What's
taking a
scary.
shower? He's like,
shoe bill.
Yeah, the shoebill stork.
Yeah.
The shoebill stork in the middle of
It didn't
Kansas.
make an accurate noise.
Oh yeah, it makes a gun shattering. But that's when it does it with its beak. I'm sure when its beak is not going like an AR-15.
I was really nitpicky, apparently.
I
in this
noticed.
movie.
Wait, if Kansas is up, is this the Hollow Earth theory then? Is
Yeah.
this where-
So King Kong-
doesn't have a voice anymore.
They're all universal, so technically Middle Earth could just be underneath.
Oh my god.
Could be underneath
Godzilla
Dawn of
vs.
Oz.
Kong vs. Elphaba.
I have to
I think
ask
Elphaba
you
will still
guys
win.
about young Goldblum.
Crazy.
DH
Yes,
Goldblum.
yeah.
How did you guys react to that?
Like in what, like just seeing him or the reveal?
Oh, the reveal, of course, being that the wizard is the one who
Yeah.
knocked up,
Which
Elphaba's
feels
mom.
more obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like in from based on a movie 1 to movie 2, you know. If
I'm
you're-
thinking of the sight. Why
Yeah.
are movies doing this?
Big
Why
jump
does
scare
Alien
for me.
Romulus have to have young Ian
Yeah.
Holm? Why?
did they de-age Jeff Bridges for Tron Ares? I haven't seen the movie.
Well, they did for Tron
Legacy.
Legacy.
Tron
true.
Legacy.
I guess how
Tron
would
Ares is
you?
interesting.
Unless they probably, and I'm just assuming they did this. I'm not saying that they did do this. If casting couldn't find someone that looks like a young Jeff Goldblum in
Does he have a
time,
son?
I don't think he. Does.
No, he's a he has a,
Yeah, I know
a
he has
very
a
young
daughter.
daughter.
Is
because
he?
it's
Oh,
yeah.
never mind.
yeah.
He already looks so ageless, I think. Like, he's like 70, and he looks like he's
Yeah.
45.
That's a good point. I think
That's
with
a generous thing to say.
I think with makeup you could have gotten him closer as opposed
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
other people. Because
Yeah.
I don't think it's makeup, right? It's definitely digital.
No, it's
Yeah.
digital.
They use
No.
assets from Jurassic
Yeah,
Park.
no, he looks like a
Yeah.
baby version of him. It just that looks like they went to Jurassic Park and just grabbed it.
Well,
but
then
I was
they
like,
used, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say it's like for the people that have not seen Wicked, if they just got someone, they cast someone that kind of looks like Jeff Goldblum, you might be a little confused,
Sure.
and you'd be like, "Is that Jeff Goldblum?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I guess." I assume most of us have seen Wicked, but my best friend waited the full year to make sure he didn't get any spoilers because he's never seen Wicked.
Wow.
Well, in the stage show, it's pretty elegant. They just bring back the audio of "Have another drink," like echoing over the stage, and then all you really need is just Jeff Goldblum look over here, and then you have like a fade-in shot from the first movie
I
of
think
the
he even
stage.
has dialogue that says, like, she was my daughter.
But I was gonna say, do you think that works better for stage and they feel like it's kind of not lying, but it's not rewarding enough to a cinematic audience?
I think
guess
you can
'cause
accomplish it without showing.
I think you can
DH.
accomplish it,
Yeah.
but I think there's a lot of people that'd be like, I want to see it.
yeah.
I think we
I'm not
dissect.
one of
I
those.
think we dissect movies every day, and we watch 100 movies a month. So we're like, hey, we don't want to see this, but I feel like there's one person in the middle of Oklahoma
Yes.
that's like, yeah, show me the young Jeff Goldblum.
And that's how I felt about Dorothy. I was like, I want to see Dorothy.
It's
but
not her movie.
It's not her movie, and I understand because I'm like, oh, I imagine myself sitting in a Broadway theater to watch this. I can see how they would do it on stage and how they would like obfuscate the fact that she's there and everything. But I'm just like, she's right there.
Yeah, I think a lot of
We're
people
so
were expecting
close.
a DH Judy Garland, which would have felt even worse. I think.
Yeah, I would have been bad.
You can't do someone
I-
who's passed away.
There was a lot of rumors that they cast the young girl from Furiosa in
Okay.
as Dorothy. I forget her name now.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Chris
the young
Hemsworth.
I was gonna say Chris Hemsworth plays a DH
Well,
girl in that
listen,
movie.
He's only got so many years left.
Toto, get over here.
Auntie M, Auntie M.
It's part of his Disney Plus series that he does where he's trying to do all these things because he's like, I gotta live life or whatever. you
No,
know?
that was so funny. I'd say,
So is there what was that?
it's your fur. It's your
Love, I thought it was a
fur.
bug.
Oh my goodness. Chessery, you're being so yeah, I'm melting.
So did you know going into it the twist that Elphaba does not actually melt?
Yes.
You knew
So
that,
that
okay.
that
'Cause you
didn't
read
get.
it.
Yeah, I read it. But
Oh, that's right, you
I
read
also
it.
was like, I'm like, they're taking their time.
That was a lot of people's reviews was like how long it was at the end, but not for
Between
the
moment,
yeah, but not
Because,
for
like,
the best reasons.
They didn't play her as dead in the movie. Like, she melts and then they sort of move on.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Glinda has the scene, but then like Chistry, like he's like, here's the thing, and she's like, I've got a mission.
Yeah.
I do wish I wish towards the end, the last act, the things were pieced together a little bit differently.
Yeah.
That the reveal up sooner. Girl with the bubble after Madame Marble pushes you into the chair. Like it was so. It brought me down a little bit after hearing Girl in the Bubble. I was like, hell yeah, girl, get it. And then Marble pushes her basically back, and then she goes, oh. I was like, girl, you just got your song? You got so strong for a minute.
Yeah.
Get up. And then she gets the black clothes. But at first I was like, girl, come on.
Wait, what?
That was funny.
She was,
She had two items of black clothing in her closet, not to wear her pink dress underneath.
The thing is, yeah, she still had to wear the dress, but she took off all the earrings. She took off the other pink stuff.
No one will notice. I'm wearing this huge dress.
At the end, so this movie also gives a much happier ending to the world than the show does. 10 times happier than the book does. In the book, a lot of people die and stay dead. In the play, there's no setting things right with the animals. It's implied that hopefully Glinda will do things a little bit better than the wizard did. But, you know, you don't see Dr. Dilliman back in the classroom. Did you guys think for a second that when Dr. Dilliman walked out into that lecture space, he was just going to go, meh, and still not have his ability to talk?
I 100% thought that. Yeah. 100%.
How do they re-give... who gives him the ability to talk again?
Maybe it's like when you're in a coma and you have to relearn how to walk.
Yeah.
You got to practice
I don't know.
speech. I feel like it's harder for an animal to learn back the English language, I guess.
Yeah. Is it?
But it is like theoretically natural for them.
Oh,
to
yeah,
speak
that's true.
English.
That's true.
They don't
Yeah.
have to-
Oh, they're all born speaking, yeah.
Yeah. I can't. So fun fact. I was playing a D&D campaign, a Dungeons & Dragons campaign for a very long
Thanks
time.
for clarifying.
Yes. There's many things that could be called D&D. A Do Not Disturb campaign. But I was playing Dungeons & Dragons
Just lock
game.
yourself in your closet.
Yeah. I love myself. That it's based off my friend Connor. He based it off of the world of Wicked and Wizard of Oz. And in the game we were playing, the animals, some animals could talk and some animals couldn't. And there was this whole thing about like animus and magic in the world. Don't know if that's part of the original book. I've never read it. For us, we were playing. There was a spirit in the world of like animus, this magic that was allowing them to speak.
I don't know about it.
that role.
I was like, I don't know about the book. I haven't read the book though.
I'm interested though. Actually, I'm legitimately interested in reading. The
I
book
think
now.
everyone should. I think it sounds really fun. It's just more so I don't have time.
Yeah.
But
I
from-
have read Gregory Maguire's Wicked. It is not what I would call fun. It is.
Oh.
It's an excellent read. It's really beautifully written prose. I really like Gregory Maguire's writing style, but the world is just very dark and sinister. And that's what he wants to do, is he wants to try to like take these fantasy things and be like, well, if this really did exist, you would have like horrifying things happen.
Yeah.
And it really does get into the civil rights elements of animals versus animals, uppercase, lowercase. And I think it's more of just like, yeah, it's almost like bondage in a way. Like you lose the ability to walk, or you lose the ability, to speak freely. And if you subjugate a group of people that long, it just kind of robs them of their soul, their essence at some point.
Speaking of terrifying, the transformation into the Tin Man was the transformation for the Tin Man and the tornado for me. I was like, this is actually kind of scary.
I thought that the Tin Man was cool, but if you've seen the stage play, it is like magic, where they do a sort of like Texas switch of two actors, and so you get to see he almost instantly transforms. And so like to not be able to do that in the movie because it's simple with filmmaking was sort of like, it was hard, I think, for them to find as magical a moment. But you're right, it was like, I thought he also looked really good.
I think he looked great. The idea of the pieces, the cuts, quick cuts of pieces going to his body and him being like, him being like, I'm dying. Same with Fierro. I was like, I don't like this. This song feels like a horror movie. It was great. I love the look of the Tin Man. I love how scary he is when he walks.
Yeah.
I also call him whatever you want. I think Ethan Slater fucking murdered in this role. I think he was
Thomas Godolkin.
I think Thomas Godolkin. I think Mr. SpongeBob, Thomas Godolkin, whatever other thing he's been in. I think he did great. I also think they were like, hey, we got 3 very trained singers. We're gonna make sure each 3 get like a lot of singing to do, and that was Ethan Slater. I think his speeches and talks as Bach was really good. I loved him as as the Tin Man, as the bad Tin Man. Like, oh god, he was heartless.
Yeah.
He was heartless.
Wanted more from Coleman Domingo a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't get a ton
Coleman
of
Domingo,
power line.
he was like, I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
I'm coming in for one day, and you get me to screech.
Especially for the whole like hullabaloo online of
Right.
like, wait till you find out who it is, and everyone's like, please don't be James Corden. And they were
He
like,
was
no,
too
it's
busy-
not.
he was
But
busy.
He was a different cat, yeah.
I think you can get a spin-off, a Wicked 3, where it's Ariana with Coleman and Ethan, and the 3 of them have some adventure in Oz.
Because there was
Yeah.
you posted something in Slack earlier today that they're working on another thing in the Wicked universe. Was that for the stage? Was that for film?
I don't know. It was from Steven Schwartz and Whitney Holtzman.
Yeah.
Steven Schwartz wrote the score and the music. Whitney Holtzman wrote the book for the Wicked stage show. So my thinking is that this would be another play on. I mean, we've seen sequels to Phantom of the Opera that famously have not gone well. So I don't know if a Wicked sequel, but Wicked has been anomalistic in so many ways. Maybe it does do well if the songs are really great.
Universal will pay for it.
Yeah.
Universal would give money immediately.
If this movie makes the money I think it's about to make, they're going to make another Wicked universe movie.
Are we going to get a Wicked Land first, or are we
I
going
hope
to get?
so. Epic
that's
Universe
great.
has room for another park, and they should build a
Oz
Wicked
or
They
Emerald
need to.
City.
I don't understand how they haven't
Emeralds.
yet. It would make so much money.
I mean,
Unless
pretty-
other theme parks own pieces of it,
It's in. Well, you could argue it's in the public domain.
isn't it?
Because,
Well, I remember I was talking. Well, when we went to Universal, I was talking to the man about like, Godzilla, and they were like, no, we can't because of
Toho or Legendary?
Yeah, Legendary and Toho had a bunch of stuff, but they were like, we can't take Godzilla yet, and we can't take King Kong really yet. And I was like, oh, but I thought Godzilla would be easy to take because it's ancient. And they were like, no, we can't. So I wonder if there's another piece of Wicked somewhere.
Speaking of rights issues, the way that they like did a little bit of a lighting effect on the slippers to make them a little bit more ruby colored, I was like, are you gonna get a cease and desist for this trick that you do? Because they're not ruby in the musical because they're not ruby in the book, and they're only ruby in the MGM production. So I think technically, 1939, the rights have not expired for ruby slippers being in the
I
Wizard of Oz.
think at that point in the show,
Do
on
they
the
do the
stage
same
show,
thing?
they shine a red light
Okay.
on Nessa's
yeah, just so
slippers. It's
people-
Just be like, there's the
Sense
same
of it,
slippers.
Yeah.
They are the same. They are the same slippers. They are the same slips.
We're gonna wrap it up here, but any final thoughts? Do we feel comfortable scoring the movie, or do we just want to leave it with some final subjective thouts?
We haven't scored movies, right, in a long time.
It's been a while.
This is me saying I don't want to do it. Yeah. I really liked Wicked for good. I loved it. I'm gonna see it another 2 times. I might dress up again. I'm going to Ariana's concert in June, and I'm gonna dress up as Elphaba again. I love it. I love my 2 girls. I love my 2 lesbian girls. I love my lesbian girls.
Ariana's like, ooh.
She's like, it's you, girl. It's you.
I think that if I were to rate this movie on a curve, I would probably give it like an 8.5 or a 9. If I were to rate this movie in isolation of how much I love Wicked as a musical and how much I enjoyed the first movie, I'd probably give it like a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm probably there, but not but excluding knowing Wicked, right? I think overall, I mean, I am seeing it a second time. I think it's one of these movies that is good to see with a group of people, especially people who love it. And I'm, not immune. I'm not going to be like a hater there, right? Like I'm not immune to it. I loved hearing the reactions in the theater. I just think some final recaps of things I really loved. The Ariana, all the stuff in For Good, Ariana Grande's like the tears on her face, incredible, just so beautiful, such beautiful stuff. There's a shot of tulips that is really good in this movie because it feels real. That's all I'll say. And there's a shot that you mentioned with Jeff Goldblum where he's staring at the poppy, and I was like, oh, a surprisingly impactful shot in this movie.
Look at him go.
And Cynthia, great. The performances are the best part of this movie, and I see it on that alone.
Yep. I think the performances are just incredible, and I think you got to give a shout out to the casting. I think this was not an easy movie to cast, pair of movies to cast, and they fucking nailed it. I think Ariana and Cynthia are perfect in these roles. I think Jonathan Bailey is perfect as Fiyero.
Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Ryan Reynolds.
He does look remarkably like Ryan Reynolds
when people were like, he looks like Ryan, I was like, there's no way. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Poor Ryan Reynolds. He's constantly getting brought up in things, and he's like, what am I trying to do now? And they're like, I look like the Scarecrow.
I mean, I was leaving the theater, and then this guy, another person was just like, oh, that's the guy from the Mint Mobile ads, right? I was like, if Ryan Reynolds does a Mint Mobile ads as a Scarecrow.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh, at the end of the movie.
Oh, it does
yeah.
look like Ryan Reynolds.
I see it now.
That's true.
I think the one casting that doesn't work for me is, I hate to say it, it's.
You can't say. Are you gonna say?
He's gonna say.
No, I agree.
I don't want to say it because I love her and everything
She's great.
else.
She's great. She was not right for this.
Yeah,
role.
not right.
Who are you talking about?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle. Oh! Madame Morrible.
Oh!
But here's the deal.
You're talking about someone else.
The character of Madame Morrible in most stage shows that you see, they'll get someone who's kind of fun. Like in my production, I saw Rue McClanahan, a golden girl I adore. Was she right as Madame Morrible? Maybe not. But I'm just thinking, like, this is where you could have gotten a Patti LuPone or something like that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And she would have crushed it as Madame Morrible.
I still love
I
Michelle
get it. I love Michelle Yeoh. I like her and everything. I just think she's not right for me.
No, I like her as Madame Morrible. I don't care for her and everything. But I love her. I think the reason why I like it is I like it more in the second movie than I do in the first movie because I was like, she's such a bitch.
Yeah,
and I was like, she's horrible. She's a mean. She killed Nessa. She threw a house on her. And I never thought about it until I saw it cinematically that I was like, she lifted a house with her powers and killed a girl that she used to teach her sister. She used to literally work at that school. She used to see this girl. Also, not to be this person. This is like the only girl we see in a wheelchair throughout all of Oz. And you literally threw a house down on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she was just giving that like, yeah.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? I was like, God, that bitch. God, she's just so good at playing it. She did it as the mom in Crazy Rich Asians too, where it's like, you want to choke her? I was like, I can't stand her. And I think that was a great version for Madame Morrible. I was like, yeah, I can't stand her. I want her to die. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I think she did I think she did the acting well. I think like she had a little bit of Russell Crowe in Les Miserables about her with the singing, where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like a bummer.
Luckily, it was only one sentence.
Right. It's not much. So I do think like a lot of directors love working with people that they've worked with before. And this was like a small singing part. It was probably like, would you like to come do Morrible? And she said yes.
But she is iconic in her own way. And I think all the scenes where she's acting, she definitely, I think she brings the chemistry with Ariana Grande. All of her scenes are really, really great.
I think that's what I was watching too. I was like, she really, I think out of a lot of the people, and this is just me just noticing it, Ariana definitely delivers a better performance when she's with people that are giving her a lot to do. And with every scene with Madame Morrible, she had to react. Her eyes would get really small, it'd get really big. She's really good at showing and conveying emotion. And when she does things with like Jonathan Bailey's just playing stoic Jonathan Bailey. And so it's like, her like she's trying to pull him into it. And I was like, oh, Ariana feeds really well when people give her a good meal. And it's such a weird drag queen sense that I just said, but it's like she eats when she was with Michelle Yeoh and with Cynthia Erivo. I think they give her a lot of room to work and play in the bubble, pun intended, that she's in. And I will applaud Ariana for that. Ariana, such a good job. You such a good job. As someone that's only seen you in Sam and Cat, I'm literally like, I'm surprised.
Well, I hope this movie ends up soaring at the box office. I want movie musicals to be the blockbusters they deserve to be. Yeah. And I think this one has a real shot. And we want to thank all of you for joining us on this episode of The Breakroom. We're going to stick around and answer some questions from those of us joining us on the live stream. But thank you so much to John Costa, to Jessica Clemens, to Evan Yee. Thank you to Brian Kim, our studio tech, who's going to be producing and editing this episode. Hey, if you want to support us, you may have noticed John and I are wearing some of our exclusive Wicked merch designs that you can get at our merch store, nerdriot.shop. I'm wearing our Defy Gravity tee with the famous billowing cloak that you'll know if you see the stage show. John's wearing a really cool mossy wizard head design.
I just loved the design of the wizards.
Yeah,
it's so gnarly.
So much.
I loved it in Wonderful when she finally stops and looks at it, and he's like, "I'm talking to you." I was like, yeah, girl, get that hat, put it on immediately.
Subscribe to all the channels on the Rockstars Network, and thank you all. And we are going to be off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we'll be back the first week of December. Thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.